Okay, so I just had this passenger. This passenger literally told me I need to get a real job. And they were so serious. And when I first started doing Uber, I used to want to go back and forth with people like, oh, this is a real job. Okay, why do you say that to me? I used to want to like tell them, I used to want to show them that I'm not just some dumb Uber driver. Like, hey, you really don't realize, like, I got real experiences. I done been in a lot of jobs, but I'm choosing to do this right now. I used to have pride, I used to take pride in knowing that I was an Uber driver. Because while other people seen this as not a great position, I loved it. I was making hand over fist and money. I was basically changing my life. And I finally had the freedom to, one, not have to dress up every single day and be in a suit and tie. And, I could wear my beard out, obviously, let my hair grow. I was able to kind of like enjoy myself, I didn't have to worry about like, I didn't have to worry about dealing with the dress codes, the politics, because when you're in a corporate environment, you better believe you got politics. It is a lot of politics going on in a corporate environment. Whether it's your manager or your manager's manager or your manager's manager's manager, you got politics. Or it's just your regular coworkers. There's politics to everything. And if you don't play the politics, oh, we don't want to sit with you, or we talk about you behind your back, or you get overlooked for promotions. So when I first started doing Uber, I was like, listen, I work for myself. This is the first time that I could really say that. Like, I'm a business owner. I'm out here on my own. What do you mean? I get paid every single day. I get paid multiple times a day. Like, I had a sense of pride. I'm not gonna lie. I had a sense of pride about being an Uber driver. It's like, do you not understand that I'm driving around in my car and I make money? The same car that I would have to drive to work, I make money in that car. Oh, you talking to me? You talking to me? Man, I probably make more money than you do. I probably make your salary in a couple months. Like, I had a sense of pride. I'm not gonna lie. I had a sense of pride because I'm like, this is a decision that I didn't do lying down, as they say. I didn't take this decision lightly. Like, I really thought about it. Like, obviously, my story is just that during the pandemic, one of my jobs was mostly, at that time, I was kind of focused on being a server. I worked in a restaurant. I worked in Miami, literally worked off of Miracle Mile. I worked at a restaurant there. It was a 5-star restaurant, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I used to get tipped very well. I was tipped handsomely, as they say. And it was cool. I used to get tipped all the time. And that's kind of how, that was kind of how I lived. Because as a server, if you know anything about like the restaurant industry, we're not paid a salary. We have a salary, but the salary isn't nothing to sneeze home about. Like, the salary is maybe, I don't even remember what my salary was, because it barely paid my health insurance. Let alone trying to pay my bills off of that salary. You don't get paid well. I don't know what the salary is today, but this was 5 years ago. It wasn't great. It just wasn't great. And so as a server, we live off of tips. And tips are amazing. But the other problem is there is politics in restaurants. Some of y'all don't know that as a server, depending on the restaurant, you do want to tip out the other workers. So yeah, you may, as my customer, you may give me a tip. You know, you may give me $20, but there is politics in a restaurant in the sense that I may take part of that $20 and I may bust it down with the cook, because obviously I know that there's going to be customers that are going to want to change their food. And as long as the cook sees me, because I bust down that 20 with them, he'll hook me up before he hooks up the other servers that don't want to bust down that 20 with them. There is politics with other bussers, depending on the restaurant, depending on the environment. I do break off the bussers. So the bussers will come and knock out my tables real quick. So my tables are constantly being cleaned, so I can constantly keep getting more people at my tables as opposed to the other tables. Obviously, you do break off some with the host or the hostess, because they're the ones that's bringing the right people to your table. Now, the hosts, there are stereotypes as a server. Everybody knows that. There's stereotypes, and there's stereotypes for a reason. So there's certain things that you want as a server as opposed to not. Like, if it's a group full of college students, yeah, I don't really want that. Because college students are going to be super picky, and they're going to want this, that, and the third, and they ain't really going to tip. But now, if it's a group of businessmen, you want that, because you know that every single one of those businessmen are going to tip. They're going to want separate checks. They all going to tip. So, by the end of the night, off of just that one table, you can make $30, $40, $50, $100 off of just their tips. And they're going to tip well. So it's like there's certain stereotypes as a server. And yeah, the host isn't supposed to be, they're not supposed to show favoritism. Yeah, the bussers aren't supposed to show favoritism. Yeah, the cook isn't supposed to show favoritism. Nobody in the restaurant is supposed to show favoritism. But that's the politics of the situation. And, if you know how it goes, you know how it goes. You're not supposed to, but they do. Because at those positions, they don't necessarily get tips. They're paid a higher salary than we are. A cook may be paid $15, $20 an hour, as opposed to me, where I'm not even getting paid $10. I don't remember what my salary was. I think it was like $5 or $10, somewhere around there. But, them getting that little extra $10, $15 that I just bust down with them, it changes everything, because that's right now money. You know what I'm saying? They get that, put that in their pocket, and they good. And as one of the only people that's doing it, or, one of the few people that's doing it, it just changes the perspective. You know what I'm saying? So now when you get that order, and it's like, yo, so she actually didn't order, like with eggs. So she wants her eggs sunny side up. Instead, you did them scrambled. All right, no problem. I got you, boss. And then do. All right, 3 seconds, a couple seconds later, all right, here you go. Because it's about that politics. It's about that, so as a server, yeah, we get paid in tips, and I got tipped well, but then I was also breaking it down with other people. So it's like, I might have made $200-300 for the night, but if I broke it down with people, now I only made $150, $100, So, but during the pandemic, obviously, things changed. It was all takeout. And as a server, you don't get paid the tip. That tip goes to the delivery driver now. So it's like you're doing a lot of work for free. I mean, obviously I'm getting a salary, but the salary ain't doing nothing for me. So when I started doing Uber, it was like, bro, I'm making money and I'm not relying on tips anymore. And it was, I mean, at first it was crazy, but I could quickly see the potential. Because even though it wasn't busy, like I wasn't getting a ton of requests like those first couple of weeks, but I was still making like $200 or $300. So I think my first week I made 200, but next week I made like 300 or 400, and the next week I made 500, and it was just like, yo, this is dope. And I love the drive, so it was just easy. It was really easy for me. It was like, you know, whatever, I could do this. So, you know, before when people would be like, oh, get a real job, it's like, what do you mean get a real job? Do you know who you're talking to? Like, I've had real jobs, and this is peaceful, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have freedom. But this time around, I haven't heard that in a while. Really, since I got the Tesla, I don't hear that as much. You know, because I guess the perception is that you're in a nicer car, so you must be making money. I don't know, but I don't hear get a real job anymore. But I did today. And the guy was just like, you should get a real job. I'm like, okay. Now, he said it more as a compliment, so I didn't take it offensive. But he was like, you know, I can tell you're really good with people. You know, you should get a real job. And I was just listening to him, and I'm like, bro, okay, cool, you know. But he was like, yeah, you know, you're really good with people. I can see how, you know, you probably would be a manager, you know, because you're able to communicate. Yeah, man, you should get a real job. I mean, I think you're selling yourself short by being, you know, by doing this, because, you know, obviously there's no career growth. You know, you don't have the 401k. You don't have the benefits, man. You don't have the benefits. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I respect that. I respect that. Yeah. And I just listened, you know. I was just listening because I wanted to hear what he had to say. But once he got out of the car, and I didn't really, because he came from a good place. So I just let him talk, honestly. He had his opinion made, and I wasn't really trying to change it. It wasn't one of those situations where he was asking me. He was just telling me, you should get a real job. So I kind of wanted to bring this video up because I used to hear it all the time. And my first go-to was to fight him. What are you talking about? I got a real, you know, like I just said. But now I'm in a place where I don't care. I really don't. I don't care. In the sense of, I don't care what they think. It doesn't matter to me anymore because I've been doing this for 5 years. Now, do I plan on doing this forever? No. Everybody always asks me, am I going to be an Uber driver forever? No. I probably won't be it for another year. I don't know. You know, with the whole drive whip situation, rental car situation, I don't know. I don't know how long I'll be an Uber driver. I could be an Uber driver for a month. I could be for another couple years. I don't know. But right now, what I do know is that being an Uber driver has changed my life. It's given me opportunities that I never would have had. Being an Uber driver also taught me how to run a business. A real business. One where you got to file taxes for quarterly. You got to do projections and stuff like that. So it's given me the opportunity to kind of experience life a little bit differently. And for that, I'm happy. But that's also why I make these videos. Just to remind you guys that there is another side of the story. Everything isn't all bad when it comes to Uber. I mean, yeah, depending on who you ask, they're going to tell you it's all bad, but it's not. It's not. especially if you learn how to make the money. And so, yeah, man, I'm going to start going live, trying to go live every single day, at least every other day. I'll say that, at least every other day. That is my commitment. So if you got any questions, any comments, talk to me on the live stream. I don't know what time I'll be live, but that's why you should subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, man. That way you'll know when I go live. I am still producing a video every single day. Now, lately, it doesn't seem like it's every single day. And I'm gonna be honest, it's because I got cell phone issues. My internet is bad. So it'll take a forever time to upload. So like I'll do the video every single day, but then it don't load until like 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, I'm still gonna upload it because, you know, I made it. So, but yeah, you know, so I'm still making videos every single day. I'm still trying to produce content. So yeah, but I will start going live. So if you got any comments, talk to me there. Other than that, man, we are building a community. We are almost at 100 people in our community. All you got to do is download the Telegram app and hit the link in the description to the free, well, right now it's free, Florida rideshare group. Now, we're biased to Florida. I get it. But really soon here, we're going to start opening up to other groups, other people, if you guys want that. You know, but that's the goal, to have a community of drivers where you can know where to go, where the hot spots are, who's making money, who's not making money, different strategies. You know what I'm saying? Just create an environment, create coworkers, you know, for the good and for the bad. But yeah, that's it. So with that being said, man, I am out of here. It's been a long day. It's time for me to go home, go to sleep. So yeah, deuces.